Hello, everyone, and welcome to our inaugural Art Talks program. It's a new online series featuring conversations with artists working on projects with or at the New Bedford Whaling Museum. These art chats will be recorded and available on YouTube, probably about a week after they're recorded. If anyone has any questions throughout or near the end of the program, you can just put them in the chat, and I'll make sure to ask Magda or address it. My name is Imelda Rivera Laxton, and I am the curator of contemporary art and community projects here at the New Bedford Whaling Museum. Today, I'm joined by artist Magda Leon. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her and then give her a chance to tell us more. Magda is a Guatemalan-born multidisciplinary artist who's based in Providence, Rhode Island. She focuses on printmaking, installation, and social practice art. Leon's work reflects her bicultural identity, which she lovingly refers to as de aquí, de allá. She's currently a lecturer in fine arts at Brandeis University and is working on a multi-year community project and exhibition with the museum titled Remember, Volver a Pasar por el Corazón, opening in the fall of 2027. The project, whose Spanish title is translated to Pass Again Through the Heart, celebrates the histories and experiences of the Guatemalan community in the greater New Bedford area and the south coast of New England. Drawing connections between ancient communal practices and contemporary experiences of migration, the project and exhibition explores the universal pursuit for belonging and community. So again, welcome Magda, and thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I put together a few images that I think I'm going to share while you talk, maybe after you introduce yourself. I gave a brief intro, so just tell us a little bit more about yourself, kind of your art practice, and what kinds of art you create.
Yeah. So hello. It's a pleasure to be here and I'm honored. So my name is Magda, like Imelda said, Magda Leon. I am Guatemalan. I was born there and came to the United States really young. And yeah, a lot of my theme of my work is about migration and sort of like that in-betweenness of cultures and languages and just you know kind of like I try to think about my experience as a child and how it felt, and I try to incorporate it as well as how I feel as an adult now, so that in-betweenness too. My background is social work. Um, i i practiced social work for about 8 years, and then I became a mom and I started, like focusing on my children. But art was always in me, like it was always part of me. So to the art world, to the official art world, I'm sort of what you call a latecomer, um, and yeah, it started with just me kind of getting out of my way as in the sense of like, okay, I would always say I'm gonna go back to school and I want to study art, and there was always like an excuse, and then my husband was like, enough. I'm so sick of hearing you talk about this. And I just like I realized that it was myself that the time was never gonna be perfect, so I just jumped, and it's been nonstop ever since. My journey started in 2016, so 10 years, and yeah, it's been wonderful. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. It's so interesting that you started in social work, and I feel like some of that really comes through kind of in some of the kind of projects you work in and even some of the installation work. But how did you, what types of, what medium do you usually work in, or what did you start in? And I'll share some examples of
Yeah.
of your, of your work.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just tell us how you got there.
So yes, all my life I just drawn since little. I used to draw on any paper I could find, including wallpaper and important documents like my parents' passports and bills. But yeah, drawing was like my initial, how would I say, background. But then I was introduced to printmaking by online. I didn't even know like what the medium was, but I was so intrigued with it. And so when I went to back to school, I focused on printmaking. I do wood blocks and and also lino. I do also well, I do many mediums, but I would say my main thing is woodblock and collagraphs.
Mhm.
So that's, yeah, like that's sort of like the starting point at officially, starting my journey as an artist. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if you can see the screen here, and there's
Yes.
some
Yes.
examples of just kind of your printmaking work,
Yeah.
which is always it feels very layered, and I've always
Yes.
liked like how the different textures. And I think
Yes.
we once had a conversation where you were just talking about the use of materials, and I really liked it and about how just using what you have, using what you found.
Yes, yes. Yeah, keeping so a big thing about woodblock, especially, is that it's so simple yet so challenging, right? To make a something that is interesting. I limit myself, as you can see, there's only one print with color there. Um, I love just playing with black and white, because I use it as part of my, concept. Living sort of in this betweenness, I am trying to figure out, the separation in what needs to be highlighted.
Mm,
And so black and white has been, sort of my jam, my
yeah,
signature. Um, but yeah, in regards to using materials that I have, I would say that's been mostly with my collagraphs. My collagraphs are made out of like chipboard, or like the back of large drawing pads. I
yeah,
use them, and I make them. I give them a new life. Actually, sometimes I feel like the actual, before I like after I print them and I see my print next to the collagraph plate, I I fall in love even more with the with the plate itself.
right.
Um, but yeah, like it's very very simple. My medium, I feel like it's very uh, how would I say it? It's not as complicated, but yet, like where I try to complicate things is where what I'm trying to convey and speak about. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Well, everything is quite beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
I was interested. I'm gonna move forward kind of to the next
Mhm.
slide here, just to
Mhm.
show just you talk about the simplicity kind of in those woodblock
Mhm.
prints, but then
Mhm.
kind of this complicated like the printing on natural materials, on
Yes.
other kinds of natural materials.
Yes.
And so I was and you have this in some of your installations, and so I was hoping that you could just share kind of your process then with moving from the kind of black and
Mhm.
white simple wood blocks to
Mhm.
what we see here on the left with the Maseca.
Yeah, with the masaka.
That is,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. So yeah, like I felt the need, and I have it, like that. Well, like I love printmaking, and that's like the number one thing. But I wanted to come out of the wall, like, like wanted to experiment with printing in things and in in things that like leaves, right? That are not archival,
Yeah.
that has this sort of like life, an expiration to it.
Right. Yeah.
And that really pushed me to sort of, how would I say, it pushed me to really let go, in a sense, of having this life of its own, my art having this life on its own, where like the the like the leaf in the Maseca installation um, kind of took over in the sense of like it had its own life, and it was going to do what it was going to do, beyond me,
Yeah.
beyond my control. And yeah, so these are the Maseca installation. Those are Mashan leaves I decided to use, because Mashan leaves are part of making, the traditional tamal, uh, and that goes in between the dough and the plantain leaves. So the tamal doesn't have this sort of like overpowering plantain or banana leaf taste to it.
I see. Yeah.
Yes. So another thing, like kind of like that in betweenness again, right? Incorporating that in my work, but also, yeah, like I am a food lover, and I love to cook, and I wanted to. I've been always intrigued with tamales. They're like little gifts, things
Yeah.
that you wrap, and then you open it, and it's like this yummy gift. So I was playing that with it, as well as, wrapping this cultural background, this, experience, and in seeing it as a gift. So I moved on to that, what you see there, a quilt made out of plantain leaves, that I screen printed on. And yeah, like I started like having my work come out of like just the print itself. I started making games, and that you can see there on the top right.
Right.
It's that one is called Spill the Beans, and it's sort of this loteria slash monopoly game, and the currency are beans.
Right.
And the little figures, or your like little character, is a bird, speaking about migration, and kind of like going through, this game makes you go through, like it's very simple, gaining, three beans, giving to the person next to you all your beans, all,
Yeah.
speaking about, our experience here, in the United States as migrants. So yeah, I wanted to bring out, like I said, my prints into a more 3D space, but also have, the viewer, be able to experience it as like playing with it. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed
definitely.
that a lot. Yeah.
I think just I'll add some background for those who don't know what maseca is, that it is a corn flour, and it is what you use to make a tamale, which is almost like, how would you describe it? Maybe like a dumpling almost, like it is like a,
Yeah,
or but a little different, but it's
yeah.
corn flour, it's stuffed with this, it has meat or something
Inside, yeah, yeah,
inside,
yeah.
and then is
Usually,
it
yeah.
cooked.
And
Just for
it's
some reference.
yes, 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 yes. The
Uh,
tamal is full of surprises because not only when you open it, you find that it's like wrapped in another leaf, but then it's the dough, and inside when you cut it, it has more surprises. It will, you'll have the meat there, and you'll have some recado, which is sauce. So yeah, it's full of surprises.
I like that, a pocket of surprises.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting also that the for your tamalada for the mat, the kind of quilt that you made,
Hmm.
but then you kind of also went into different types of just like stitching things together
Yes.
um,
Hmm.
and making literally kind of a textile that is with
Yes.
expiration date, but that is useful and then highly personalized.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like some of that stitching together of two of all these different things kind of is something that is you can see in the project that you're working on now.
Hmm. Yeah.
With what you're doing here at the museum. And so I feel like that might be a good segue to just kind of, I'm gonna go to the next slide to move from
Yeah.
this to kind of,
Yeah. I just want to say something about the quilt. Um, that the reason why it became a sort of this quilt looking uh, art piece was because I wanted sort of like bring that tamal again. I know it sounds so cuckoo, but bring that tamal again, but have you become the tamal where you can wrap yourself in it, in
yeah.
the plantain leaf. And that was a pain in the butt to stitch
Yeah.
together, because I went through the process. I had to smoked the leaves to make them pliable,
Mm-hmm.
to be printed on, and to also be, stitched together.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful experience, even though I did swear a lot, a couple of many times, and but it made me wrestle with the material. Um, I think the leaves won, because they're doing what they're doing. Still,
Right,
I
right.
still that quilt, which is called tamalada, it still exists, and I still have like I show it in exhibitions. But yeah,
Yeah.
looking completely, not completely, but it's starting to look, definitely the colors have faded,
Right.
and it's starting to fall apart, which I love. Yeah.
Which is part of the, yeah,
Yeah.
part of the process, right? Part of
Part
the
of the process. Yeah.
self.
Yeah.
And you had, I guess, well, I'll mention one more thing. Did you have a sort of kind of community food event around it then? An actual tamalada, like
Yes. Yes.
little
Yes.
making
Yes.
of tamales at the end of it?
Yes. So before, so when I just had, so I printed all the leaves, and I felt like they needed to have like this ceremony before it became a quilt. So I invited friends over my studio, and I threw an actual tamalada, which is like it's like a feast where you eat tamales, because tamales, they're like sort of that food that you have, for any party, from quinceañeras to weddings to funerals. So I felt like the quilt needed this ceremony in celebration of before it became, the piece. So we had tamales, and we yeah, it was beautiful to witness, like a group of people just enjoying having conversation, and then surrounding all that, that how would I say, that beautiful energy
Mm.
surrounding the leaves that were going to be worked on. Yeah.
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 Wonderful. I'm glad that it's still that it still is exhibited in different ways as it
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, the So I included just a few that we have a million wonderful pictures from all
Mm-hmm.
the projects you've been working on specifically with us.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted you to then introduce people. We started
Mm-hmm.
talking a year and a half ago, a year ago or something.
I feel like it was back in 2023, no, 24 in October or September, something like that. Yeah.
Maybe you had
Yeah.
just finished your yeah,
MFA.
the MFA
Yeah, 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 yeah. Mm-hmm.
and uh we were talking about different ways, and this was all, you had this great idea about if we're gonna to do a project, a community focused project that speaks to Guatemalan histories and to
Mm-hmm.
experience here in New England. Um, Outside of an exhibition, like something that you came up with was kind of celebrating the idea of these kites, these barilletes. And so I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
just, what people can see here on the screen are some examples of smaller ones and some
Mm-hmm.
scenes from workshops that Magda organized over the past year in Providence and New Bedford. And I want you to just tell me a little bit about how this, like what your idea was behind this, what barilletes are, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So we in Guatemala we call kites barriletes, and they're very much part of our culture. On November 1st, we fly them. We believe that they connect us to like loved ones that have passed away, and we put little notes and string up the notes, for our loved ones to read. And it's believed also that the sound that the kite makes against the wind, it's sort of scare away bad spirits. So the good spirits, like our loved ones, can come and feast as well, because we do like these altars full of food and things that our loved ones maybe love, like chocolate or coffee or pan dulce, so they can come and enjoy what we put together for them. But I think Guatemalans went a little extra with the size of the barriletes. Um, and this started in, I think it was like in the beginning, either late 60s, early 70s, where they started making these kites. Well, they started making the kites bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it became official where they started making giant kites. In Guatemala, they go up to 40 feet.
40 feet.
40
Yeah.
feet. It's insane. It's insane. And mostly are for display. There's two um, towns that do this, and they fight over who were the ones that started it. The most popular one is Sumpango, and yeah, so they do fly some of them. The ones that I think they go up to 10 feet, those are
Mm.
flown, or maybe even bigger. But yeah, it's a beautiful practice, because in towns like Sumpango, about I think it's about 5,000 people that come together, these 5,000 people are like into little groups, right? And they come together to create these beautiful kites that it takes them about a year to make. So when you go to on November 1st to Sumpango, you see this collection this of kites that were made by the community, and most of them have messages,
Hmm.
and things that are talking about things that are currently happening, um, or about things that have passed and that have happened in the past. And I thought, as an immigrant, right, sometimes we something so popular like that, as a Guatemalan immigrant, we don't have the opportunity to go and see, and experience it. And um and I thought, why not bring it here to the States, and have kind of bring a little piece of Guatemala here, right? And because it's so beautiful, also with the history of like being such a piece of these kites are made, with the community makes them, bringing that here, and have them be also part of the making of them. And that's been incredible, because I had no idea how well received it was going to be. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And in the one kite that we already made, where well, two kites that we made, one that was 20 feet and the other one that was 10 feet. The message was migration, and and it talked also about having two homes.
Right.
Yeah.
New homes.
Yeah.
Uh, Here you can see people, it's kind of a mix, right? I think I like it, when you started this project, it was a mix of of types of materials. So paper,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
for some of the smaller ones and for
Yes.
things to make smaller. And then
Mhm.
I liked that you integrated your kind of, the kind of work that you make in screen printing and
Mhm.
having people screen print, not just
Oh
you
yeah, that's been
teaching
fun.
people how to make this, like you see on that picture on the left
Yeah.
there, which one of the 10-foot kite is in the back. You can kind of see it, and we'll have a better picture next. But then,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was people, it's not just for people from the
Guatemala,
Guatemalan,
no, no, we've had people
everybody,
from
right?
everywhere,
Yeah.
from China, Germany, um, United States, obviously. What other country? Colombians, Peruvians, Ecuadorians, um, Mexicans. Yeah, it's been like all these people from all these, different backgrounds come together. And also, it's been beautiful because we've had from children, little kids,
Yeah.
to abuelitos and abuelitas, grandparents come
Yeah.
and participate. So a lot of the little kites,
Yeah.
we have like a workshop showing them, teaching them how to make little kites. And it's funny because sometimes, they will come, the children will come, with an adult, and the adult is like just watching, their kid, do the kite, make the kite. And they end up taking over.
Yeah.
And they're having fun, and it's so nice. It's so nice that they also get, sort of encouraged,
Sure.
and to make. But also, like the bigger kite, the ones that we're making with screen that we're screen printing are, um, we've had also children do that, and abuelitos. Yeah, that's the large one. That's the 20-foot uh, uh, kite, the one with the two homes and sort of
Right.
one road, kind of like. that was inspired by a painting of Francisco Tun,
Mm.
who was a Guatemalan painter. Um, from he lived he was from like this area called La Limonada in Zona Cinco in Guatemala. I'm from Zona Cinco. It's like a block from my house in Zona Cinco, and it was this self-taught painter that made these beautiful structures, paintings of these beautiful structures. So I was very inspired by him, but yeah, I wanted to make these houses come together, these two houses, and have that sort of like one road, um, kind of like, like kind of like a this sort of bridge, right, in between the two
Mm-hmm.
houses. But what I was getting into, that this Francisco Tun, this painter, would make these little tiny. He would paint these little tiny people on these massive, size, uh, architectural, like things like houses and buildings, and so when you see his paintings, you feel like a little ant looking at them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I thought, what if you actually are the ant next to the,
Yeah.
and so yeah, because a lot of people ask me, why didn't you, incorporate people in the design? And I said, well, you will be part of it as you stand there, and see it in front of you. Um,
I I know it's hard to understand, and I couldn't I didn't get the higher res image of this kite, but with a young child standing underneath, so you could kind of get the scale of how this
mhm.
20-foot kite spans from the floor to the
Yeah,
ceiling.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and it's a mix, right? Of so it's your work. You stitched it, you put it together on this
yeah, like a
frame
collage. Yeah.
as a collage, but it's also like from all some of the workshops, some of the things that you created.
Everything that you see there was printed. So around it, you can see that there is like, it looks like Mayan patterns, and
Right.
I took inspiration from them, and that was printed by. I mean, everything you see was printed by the community. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
and put together by the community. Yeah.
I think something else that you did that is you can see in the smaller kite, which is 10 feet big, with the
Mhm.
beautiful bird at center, is that I think that you did kind of a call out for people who were coming, which it was incredible to see, I think, how many people actually responded and brought photos,
Yes.
familial
Hmm.
things to bring, and that you
Hmm.
taught them you could screen print those images and
Yeah.
incorporate those
Yeah.
memories and
Yeah.
like kind of family heritage into the kite.
Yes, I did. I asked the community if they could share, photographs of loved ones, maybe that were still in Guatemala, or back in their countries, or have passed away, or people that made it easier for them to migrate, here, so it was incredible. We got a bunch of photos, and a lot of them were just, memories,
Mm-hmm.
memories of people. And I wanted, like I took that and sort of like thought about, how it feels, to be separated, not only, in depth, but in also like physically, and how like there's other types of migration too, right? When we pass away, um,
Yeah, right.
yeah, yeah. So bringing it back again to the original concept, like that it's, in Guatemala that they it's to remember, loved ones. Um, but that was really personal. That was beautiful. And to see just people so happy that their loved ones would be on a kite, on a giant kite. I don't know. It was beautiful. I had a young woman that she was on the first she was almost in every single workshop, and we started the workshops May 16th, and I don't remember. Oh, no, no, no. It was that May 16 was the date that her dad had passed away a year before, but it was also his birthday.
Hmm.
And so she was very, like, it felt very personal to her. And she gave me one of, like, I think she gave me two photographs of her and her dad. And at the end, when we made the giant kite exhibition, she came with flowers for me, and I said thank you, but like, thank you, this is a lot. She, like, you shouldn't have done this. And she's like, well, I just want to say thank you because you have helped me um sort of like heal from that separation, right? So it was really, really beautiful. I How impactful it's been in so many ways, in so many
Right.
levels. How impactful it's been to the community. Yeah.
Right. Definitely. And like you mentioned, for this final, so what we're looking at, this giant installation, this was an event that was hosted with you and the Guatemalan Center for the
Oh my
Mutilated,
gosh,
who you've
yes,
been
I have
working
to
with
talk about the Guatemalan
also
Center. Yeah.
in kind of putting together these workshops and getting the word
Yes.
out to the community and having spaces to kind
Yeah.
of come together around this project. And
Yeah.
so it was an over a weekend, right? November 1st, November
November
2nd.
1st and the 2nd, yeah,
Hmm.
we had an exhibition. I have to give a shout out to the Guatemalan Center because they've been seriously my right hand in bringing the community, making the community part of it. They're an organization that people trust, and so that they've been seriously, like my I don't know how to call them, but we this is their project as it's been mine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been amazing, but yeah, we found a place with the Guatemalan Center to have this exhibition on November 1st. We thought because it was supposed to be this kite was supposed to be shown in for the Guatemalan Festival, but that got rained out. So, but it worked out even better because we were able to show this one on November 1st, where it's like the official date to show
Yeah.
these giant kites. But it was beautiful because we in 2 days we had uh, I don't know if it was close to 600 or 700 people come
Yeah.
um, to see the kites and stay. They would stay. They would
Because
stay. We
you
had
there
like
was
a little workshop
kite
going on.
making.
Hmm?
Yeah. You had a workshop as it was going on,
Yeah, as
right?
it was going on. Yeah, and they this, but it was just it felt like a party. It felt like a
Yeah.
feast. It was just this sense of pride and just community, because there were people, like meeting for the first time, talking. Everybody felt like it was like a very open and safe space. It was really beautiful to witness. We had people from Long Island come. We had people like that travel from far, to this exhibition, and and um and we had entire families come. it was so cute. We had this, so on the day that we were, we were getting things, it was our first day, we were getting things still ready. And, we were going to open the doors, I think at 12, and at, 11:15, we hear somebody knocking, and we go and see, and it was this entire family with, like uncles, children, grandchildren, and then the abuelita there in a wheelchair. It was like, a scene out of Coco. It was so precious. And we were like still getting things ready, and we were like, we can't leave them outside. We gotta let them, in, and but just the excitement, that they,
Yeah.
you know, came in early, and made the effort to come with the entire family. And I mean, when I'm talking about entire family, it's not, five people. It was a good 15 of them.
Yeah.
So it was just so encouraging. And yeah, that was a really sort of, after that, we've taken a break. So it was a really beautiful ending of the season. Yeah,
Which you
very
will
encouraging. Yes, I will
be
start again in May. Yeah.
picking up in Providence. You have a quite working. So a lot of these were in Providence because you live there, but then there were a number of them that were in New
New
Bedford as well.
Bedford.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. El
made
patio de comidas.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that was really beautiful, because I through that I was able to meet this group of women that do embroidery, and their initiative is to keep the practice going and teaching other women how to do embroidery. So it felt like, I was meeting another group that had in some way the same love, well, the same vision of like keeping the culture going, bringing this practice with the barriletes to the United States, and the making of it, and then, bringing this practice of embroidery, the way they embroider in Guatemala here to the United States. I felt like we had the same vision, but also the same love for our culture, and the same longing for it. Yeah.
right. Um, uh, yes, beautiful relationships, and it's only this project, it's great because it's not just about the culmination, right? It's about the
Mhm.
journey. It's about
Oh,
everything that
yes.
happens along the way.
Yeah,
And
the art is happening while we're making it.
right,
This
exactly.
is, yeah. The kite itself is just a reminder of, not just a reminder, but because it's a beautiful piece, but it is a reminder of this experience, of this communal experience,
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
And the idea when we were talking about this and how, again, it would be an exhibit to
Hmm.
be, on view for 6 months here at the museum in
Yes.
2027,
Hmm.
was that it would be both, that it would be a collection of these giant kites that have
Hmm.
been made over this time, that have
Hmm.
migrated around the south coast of the United
Yes. Hmm.
to the museum, and then on view here at the Whaley Museum
Yeah.
for all to see, and then kind of an integration of some of your other art forms and stories you've collected along the way, and kind of
Hmm.
again a real testament to community experience
Yeah. Yeah.
here, and
Yeah.
which has been everyone's getting excited. I feel like it's been kind of this like buildup of
Yes.
all these workshops that you've been hosting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No, you know, the need of, like, I was so surprised, with the need of that we have to be in community. Um, I did not, like I said in the beginning, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Um,
Yeah.
I was hoping for people to show up, on our first workshop. I told myself, maybe 5 people. We had, I think, close to 60 people show up, you know, and it was like that on every workshop. Just and people would come back, and people would commute, like, drive an hour and a half, to them, and also the need of making space for these other cultures that exist here as well, right? I had a family, mom, dad, 2 kids come. They drove an hour, and they so they were both Guatemalan. Um, their Spanish was, a little bit limited. Um, and I spoke to the mom, and she was telling me, she's like, I love this because they kind of have lost the language a little bit. So this gives them a space, but they want to share their culture to the next, to their kids, right? So
Right.
like
Right.
making this space helps them introduce them to and get them excited, about their culture, about their heritage.
Right.
Um, that was a really beautiful conversation, and encouraging conversation. Yeah, that, even within families, in different generations, they're making connection, right? Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
To their heritage. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The Yeah, I feel like there is an intergenerational component to it, which is nice because
Mhm.
have everyone all in one place doing something together,
Yeah.
and then that can also kind of I feel like all of these things you've just described and these experiences and people kind of really exemplify what you chose to call the project and the
Yeah.
exhibit,
Yeah.
and uh, which is about, like you said, remembering and that
Remember.
feeling that happens when you remember or when you
Yeah.
either by doing or smelling or seeing
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
any of those things, how
Yeah.
you again
Yeah.
have a feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. And these kites will be part of that remembrance in the sense of this time as, as coming together, and maybe with our loved ones or with friends that we've made along. It was so like great to see people coming back and being like, "Oh, you're back," and then like learning their names, and then there were like, find ways to work together, and no, that was I just I mean it with all my heart. This has been life changing, like to witness this. And I feel so honored and so humbled, because it's been so incredible and it's been such a gift, in for me as an artist, for me as an immigrant, for me as part of the community. It's been incredible. It's been incredible. I would have never imagined, with the Guatemalan Center afterwards, we would be like, kind of like just looking at each other, being like, wow, what just
Yeah.
happened, and just seeing it grow, and the excitement that, we're now, preparing, this next season of kite making. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the next kite workshop is next week. I feel like
Mhm.
we're bringing the spring. It's going to
Yes.
be here at the museum for
Yes.
AHA Night, which
Hmm.
is March 12th, I believe, right?
Hmm.
Um, and
Yeah, March. No, wait, is it 12?
is it the 12th?
It's
Yes,
a,
it's the
yeah, it's
12th.
12. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
And 4 to 6, it's on our website, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's another opportunity, this kind
yeah,
of for people to stop by and learn
yeah,
more
yeah,
and
yeah. Come with your kids, bring
make
the
some things
abuelita.
together. Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, make kites with us. Yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know if anyone has any questions. We're ready to wrap up, really. I was just gonna mention that, again, we'll have, there's a page on the website, dedicated to this exhibit and this project, and it'll have updated dates with workshops that you're hosting, here in New Bedford, and
Mm-hmm.
then also in the Providence area. People can follow
Yes,
you on Instagram,
yes.
right?
Mhm.
And you post updates there as well.
Yeah, that's where, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll be posting most of my, updates with um the schedule workshops, yeah.
And you do this on top of working full time as a lecturer and other residencies and art projects. And we're really appreciative of the time you put into the project so early on.
Oh, I say, like be like thank you. But it's been so easy in the sense of like I am enjoying this so much
Right.
that yeah, it could be crazy and intense sometimes trying to, balance life and then, the project. But it's so well worth it. I I'm just still like, like in awe, like in I just can't believe it that, I get to be part of it. Yeah.
Well, we're very thankful, and thank you for your time here, and learning more about just you and all the work that you've made. I would tell people this is again the inaugural art talks that we're gonna start here at the museum. And
Hmm.
our next one's going to be in June 5th, and that's on our website, and that's with Susan Heidemann, who is a local artist who will be also having an exhibition here, but a little sooner. That starts this summer.
Hmm.
But just thank you again for everyone who tuned in and for your time. And thank you, Magda, so
Well,
much.
thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Melda.
We'll
All
see you
right.
next week.
See you next week.
Happy kite making. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks, everyone.